Boris's blast at vicious assault on the free press by campaign group who bully advertisers into boycotting newspapers. Boris Johnson last night condemned attempts by hard-left campaigners to bully advertisers into boycotting popular newspapers. Stop Funding Hate, which is run by a pro-Corbyn cabal, uses social media to pressure firms into pulling business from titles such as the Daily Mail, The Sun and the Daily Express. The Foreign Secretary said he found it incredible that freedom of expression was under vicious attack. A small but dedicated group of left-wing activists has launched a campaign to undermine the financial base of some newspapers whose views they dislike, he said. They have attacked the advertisers who help to fund those newspapers, and who make it possible for reporters to bring new facts into the public domain. Of the few firms that have given in to the pressure, he said, I believe that these decisions are sad and mistaken and indeed cowardly. It is not as if this internet campaign commands overwhelming public support. Despite all of the noise and virulence of their campaign, there are said to be fewer than 1,000 people who are actively involved. And these companies should realize that they are bowing to a ruse, the attack on advertisers, that comes straight from some of the worst authoritarian regimes in the world. Richard Wilson, who had Stop Funding Hate, admitted last month the group wanted to impose its views on papers. It has run unsuccessful campaigns against companies such as John Lewis and Marks & Spencer, but has recently turned its fire on smaller firms. Last month Paperchase became one of the few retailers to succumb to its demands. Speaking to the Mail, Mr. Johnson defended the role of newspapers in a democracy and warned of the rise of fake news. He said free speech was an integral part of a free society, adding, a free press is not only morally right, without a free press any society will eventually suffer from corruption and economic decay. They may not like the editorial line of these publications, or the way in which they cover certain issues. But this country has the world's strongest laws against libel and defamation. We have highly progressive legislation against hate speech and the whipping up of prejudice. They are attacking the freedom which is the foundation of our democracy. Stop Funding Hate targeted Paperchase after it ran a promotion in the Mail which offered readers 2 free rolls of wrapping paper. Messages from fewer than 500 Stop Funding Hate supporters objecting to articles in the Daily Mail were enough to panic the firm's bosses into issuing a groveling apology. It prompted leading journalists and commentators from other newspapers to pledge a boycott of Paperchase. The Advertising Association, an industry body, threw its weight behind the Mail and other newspapers, saying their editorial stances should not be subject to external threats and intimidation.